Hi, welcome. My name is Mark Greenwood. Delighted to be joined again by Chris Cartwright and Gary Gibbs. And we're super excited today because you're not allowed to be excited. You have to be super excited in this current climate. But we're super excited today to be chatting with you about the online space. Now, you will know if you've listened to any others of these videos. And if you haven't, I'm going to tell you, we're developing some really great strategic partnerships within our movement, organizations that we really believe that God has brought along to us to help us accelerate as we advance in mission as a movement. So it's really, really exciting. So do you remember the days of the non-online space? Yeah, some of you are wishing for those days to return. But we know that we've got to make a serious attempt at reaching people in the online world. And so we're partnering with a great organization called CV Global. What's unique about CV Global is they are producing high quality digital media pieces. Sometimes it's a film, sometimes it's a still, that just get people out there thinking there could be something. And they had a goal to reach 1 billion people with their media. And they just announced a couple of weeks ago, they've reached that target, which is what a celebration that is. And we've been really developing a relationship, much behind the scenes in many ways, but we've been developing a relationship and a partnership with CV Global, giving you resources, a local church to help you specifically reach people online that don't know the Lord. And there's a whole bunch of offshoots with that, which, Gary, I'm sure you'll talk about the Yes He Is app, won't you?
Oh, yeah.
He'll talk about that a little bit later on. But it's a great organisation. And a key player in there, of course, is a gentleman by the name of Oliver Raper, who's formerly an Elim pastor. So we're really excited about CV Global. Chris, it's been interesting, hasn't it, in Elim world, as we often talk about, just to see how our local churches have embraced, some maybe with a bit of a grimace, some with a smile on their face, but gosh, aren't we cheering our churches on as they've navigated this past season online? I mean, it's been amazing, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark, we have witnessed something that is truly remarkable. Over a couple of years, the landscape has changed for every local Elim church in that the reach has gone beyond just, to see what I did there? The reach has gone just beyond maybe what we thought it was in terms of immediate local community and the building and the events that we host in our various contexts to a whole digital landscape where all kinds of people are able to connect in fresh ways. Now, I have to confess, my respect, my just appreciation for every church leader has gone up hugely over the last couple of years, because you guys have been right in the front line of, for those first months of lockdown, having to begin to navigate. What do we do to keep connected with those who are already part of us, but also to continue to reach out with messages of hope and life and support to the wider community? But hey, lo and behold, crisis is a great accelerator of change. And we have seen amazingly all kinds of not just the larger churches that were already making steps into the online space, but we've seen some extraordinary creative and dynamic partnerships in local churches. We really believe, though, that that's not all going to be packed back in the box in these next years. In fact, in many, many ways, it's dawning on us that actually this is a part of our journey forward into reaching out to more and more people. I've witnessed that firsthand as I've got back into local churches over these recent months, where teasing out the story, some are looking back and saying, hey, it was really hard at first, but we've been helped. We've discovered people that have giftings. It's often been a teenager or a young adult in the church that stepped up to give some of the techie support and the creative maybe opportunities for us in local church context. But also that now you're seeing people that are coming into the local church who have journeyed with you online first, who come. Perhaps they know the pastor and you don't know how they know you because they've seen you and walked with you and even secretly been journeying with the church before they come into an actual live event in the building.
Yeah.
So I think the landscape have changed. And we are now at the point where we're discovering within Elim all kinds of people who have an appetite, a gifting, a heart for how we can blend the digital outreach and ministry and mission with what we were already doing and seeing in terms of fruitfulness.
We're having conversations, aren't we, already about how we can develop a really strategic approach to reaching people online. Very early stages right now.
Yeah.
But there's definitely an awareness that we must not draw back from that online space. I remember chatting to one of our ministers, and he was saying that a lady had come to online, and she'd thanked the minister. It's actually Leon Evans from Life Central. He said the lady had said to him, "Thanks for giving me a row behind the back row."
Wow.
Which I just
That's
thought was
a great
so
phrase.
powerful. I mean, what a phrase. I mean, that'll preach, as we say in the industry.
Yeah.
But it's this sense that actually it is a row behind. And in fact, she said, "I know that eventually I'll come onto the back row, and I know that I'll move forward, but just right now, the row behind the back row." And it's such a powerful phrase that we must not underestimate. Gary, you embraced the digital world well, didn't you?
Still embracing
it. Could you?
I mean, I think, first of all, just to underline what you said, Chris, about our local church leaders and their people, the way that they morphed this thing
Incredible.
during the COVID crisis was just unbelievable. And to watch that from a bit of a distance, because of the national ministry, was just unbelievable. And to pray for those guys, because the stress levels must have been, well, you guys would know watching this, they're enormous, but you did it. You managed to take that on, and that's been astonishing. Yeah, I think for me personally, I'm a bit of a technophobe, as Mark will tell you. That's why we need each other. But I can send an email.
You can.
And,
you can.
And there's that thing called Zoom.
Zoom?
You've
even put people into groups recently.
I can put people into groups, and it works.
I mean, they never came back. Well, that don't matter. It don't matter.
Yeah, there are people still in groups about 3 months later, still talking to each other, So that's been a bit of a journey. But I think with, that whole area of digital space and how we use that for the gospel and for mission is becoming more and more critical as we go forward. It is critical right now. So organisations like CV Global, because what they offer us is free, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Which is astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They get their
we'll
funding.
have 10 of them.
They get their funding from elsewhere and make these resources free to us. Part of what they do is this thing called Yes, He Is.
Yeah.
It's put together as one word, isn't it? Yes, He Is. .com, probably.
It's an app as well.
Yeah,
you can
it's an
download
app.
on your phone.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Is that
Gary,
right?
Yeah.
Apps. See, that's what we need to do. I'm getting more and more of them. So I think to use that to put little short testimonies on, online, saying to Facebook or whatever, or even to send personally to a friend who's going through a particular issue, and there's a video clip of 3 minutes that speaks into that. Yeah. That's very helpful as well, isn't it? As well as stuff you can show on Sunday mornings on the screen in church,
Definitely.
So all of that is so very helpful as we take this thing forward. I think, it's interesting what that lady said about thanks for giving me a row behind the back row. Yeah. Because I think it is, again, it's that we overuse the word, but it's a good word, journey. How do we help people to journey from where they are to where Jesus wants them to be as fully fledged disciples of Jesus, part of the embodied body of Christ and all the rest? That's a journey that people have to come on. And the digital ministry really helps us with that, I think.
No, it does. Yeah. One of the things that I love about CV, I've got a little bit of inside information because I've been to the very nice headquarters where they've got a master chef who does all the cuisine.
You never took me, did you?
No, it wasn't right, Gary. It wasn't
that quiet.
Yeah, I did. And a barista that comes in every morning as well. I kept that one quiet.
Shut up.
Well. No, at the right time, when it's right and the Lord says, I'll take you. But it was interesting because I met this lady who is constantly following up from all the online activity. Amazing. And they talk about turning it from digital noise to connection. Great. And I think for me, that's a really crucial thing, isn't it? That we want to not just reach out to the online space, to those who don't know Jesus, but it's how we can transition them from just digital noise to connection. And CV do that really, really well. So they've got some great stuff to help us do that. But that's got to be a crucial thing, isn't it? How can we reach those out there who don't know the Lord and turn them into noise?
The digital noise thing is really interesting, I think, because, you know, so often in our church speak, Christian speak, we talk about sowing and reaping. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Totally valid. But I think there's a step before these days called ploughing up the ground. Yeah. You know, and I think the digital space needs some ploughing up so that we can actually then put the seed in that eventually will cause a harvest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm conscious in a conversation like this that already we've mentioned Facebook, which generationally a whole bunch of people won't ever look on.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
And not just you did that, I would have done the same. But the fact is we need help with this.
We do. Yeah.
Every local church, not just depending upon the age of the pastor, the age of the leader or the leadership team, needs help. And we are discovering that actually there are people who are already in this landscape that have confidence and hope, and they have some knowledge and expertise, but they're also humble enough to say, hey, we're learning. This is a massive, wide landscape where all kinds of stuff is going on for good and for not so good. And yet here we are, the church, stepping into it relatively tentatively and finding that God's already there. So we're finding people helping us within local Elim churches too. And I think of some of the digital training and equipping that's been going on recently, coming out of a number of our churches. I think of some of the churches where teams are not only doing great stuff locally, but sharing that with others. And a lot of that stuff is on our websites.
It's on YouTube, isn't it?
Our YouTube channel and so on. But just recognizing, hey, there is a journey that's beginning for us, to use that word again, here, where it's not going to be one size fits all. For many local churches, I think, Mark, they're thinking about this now in new ways and fresh ways, and it's not going back in the box. No. But actually, a lot of that will be around keeping the rhythms of local church and discipleship and community going. But at the same time, they're discovering that there is that dimension of connecting with people in wider community and bringing them on that journey. Definitely. So these enhance the other key partnership and key priorities.
100%. And you're right, we've got some brilliant people. I mean, I think Jason Hammer's already reached legendary status in the movement, hasn't he? So like we were chatting just a few weeks back, and he was telling me about somebody, I think it's in Exeter Church, but then also Mike Nichols, minister of our Luton Church, was telling me about somebody connected in, I think it's in our Swansea Church, and she's actually coming to Regents in the autumn. She's on TikTok. She's got 100,000 followers, and she does these mini apologetics things. Wow. So there's some of our people just out there. We want more of that, don't we?
Well, we need to know. I mean, guys, you're watching this, we need to know about some of these people because, you know, they can really help us. I think, again, just to underline, you know, the Elim Pentecostal Church's YouTube channel, a lot of these training videos from Jason. I remember one from Coventry Elim as well, where they put some good stuff up. You know, even I understand it. So these guys are communicating really well on some of these issues where we need to, you know, get our skills levels up.
And I think, you know, Gary, we're not specifically talking about skills training here, but I think it's important to say it's how can you just improve a little, isn't it? Because I think one of the things that session did that I thought was really good is they talked about a whole different, if you're at this stage, this is how you can improve. If you're at this stage, this is how you can improve. And I feel it is time for every Elim church to say, how can we begin specifically to start or get better at strategically, intentionally reaching out to people online. I mean, we did Alpha online as a movement. Amazing. That was just so good. We did all sorts of resources, summertime, Christmas time, the 3-month mission with the really good news stories. We're still working on the really good news pages on our website, how we can create a genuine online space that our churches can point people to investigate faith. Oh gosh, it's a full-time job, isn't it?
Well, it is.
We need to be intentional about it, don't we?
But Mark, I think that exactly right to remind us of that journey, because it's almost like we've got through 2 years, but actually in response to crisis, all kinds of creativity came out.
Absolutely.
Where we were trying to stand together and partner together to resource local churches to get through the immediate. But actually in the midst of that, all kinds of things we found were really, really helpful and fruitful.
Yeah.
Now we want to turn from crisis mode into that consistent rhythm of doing life and doing evangelism and mission together in the future. And so I would just urge and encourage every local church leader to once we've taken big deep breaths and had all that restorative opportunity to just reflect and, Lord, what are you saying to us about the communities? To realize that, hey, we are in a place where there are going to be so many new and fresh possibilities to enhance what we were already doing to grow the church, to encourage and mature the disciples that are already with us, and to reach out to people are hungry for reality and for truth. And in many, many ways, they're more likely than ever to want to connect with us before they come into our buildings and into our services.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know about you, I want to relegate the pandemic as a distant memory, but what I don't want to do is to forget about this amazing missional opportunity we have online. Let's not shrink back from it, but let's ramp up, and we will partner with you as we partner with all sorts of different organizations to help resource our online outreach. If you want to find out any more information about how you can begin to explore that, why not get in contact with us on the email that's flashing up on your screen as I am speaking right now. It's been great to chat with you today. Hope you have enjoyed and been inspired. See you next time.